Hey guys, Corey here,
And I'm Foster.
and welcome to our 2024 gear dump.
Can't believe it's here already.
I'm excited. I'm having trouble sleeping at night. I'm so excited to go.
We're rolling into the spring now, and I cannot wait. We have so many people coming out to hunt with us. It's going to be a great time.
Awesome time. And to top it all off, I can't believe it's been 18 years. We were sitting down talking earlier tonight, and 18 years Foster and I have been hunting together.
We're getting old.
Getting real old. Yeah, we're getting old. It's showing on my face, Foster. Thanks.
But it's crazy. I mean, even all the filming that we've done over the years,
Yep.
where we've started to where we're at now. Today, what we want to do is focus more on merriams, right, versus easterns, osceolas, rios, just because we hunt them so much. So whether you're getting ready for a Midwest hunt, maybe you're coming to the Black Hills, whatever it might be, there's going to be a lot of useful information in this video that guys can take and hopefully apply to their own turkey hunting. So all the viewers out there can really have a good idea for when they start to prepare for their hunt.
Hopefully we can show you guys some tricks of the trade that will make you more successful in the woods this year or years to come.
We are running a new vest for this year.
We are running new vests for the year. Good old buddy here of 18 years of hunting got me a brand new Mr. Fox turkey vest from Mossy Oak. And I tell you what, I'm excited to use it this year. Can't wait to show it to you guys. Foster's been running it for a year now, and I know I was pretty jealous of him last year when he had it and I didn't have one. Foster got it for me for Christmas, and I'm super thankful for it.
Let's get into this gear drop. If you have any questions at all right now, go into the comments below and let us know. We are super excited for this, but we're here to help you guys too. So make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and comment. All right, so guys, let's get into this. Let's get everything cleared off. Corey, you know how to do it on YouTube.
Back.
Gosh, I love YouTube.
So do I.
That's crazy. But we got our vests in front of us. So much cool stuff in here.
Man, Mr. Fox vests, for those of you guys that are avid turkey hunters, know that these are a very sought after turkey vest. Foster's lucky and fortunate to have a numbered vest. Mine's not so much, but...
So I sat in line at NWTF for one of the vests. My daughter, Brita, actually got the numbered vest. I got one of the limited runs, and then you have an extended run. Both of ours are technically unnumbered, but
I'm okay with it.
Brita's the one that has the cool vest.
I'm okay with that, because these vests are awesome.
Everything that Mossy Oak has stood for with bringing forward the wild turkey population to where it is today, and just everything that they've done has played such a significant role in the wild turkey population's success story. Repping one of these vests, I truly feel honored.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And the guys that designed this turkey vest, I mean, they thought of everything with it.
They did, yeah.
I mean, as far as like holding a water bottle to holding the toilet paper when you need it in the woods.
We'll go through that part later. But for all those guys out there that are getting ready again for going on a Midwest hunt, whether you're going to Nebraska, maybe South Dakota in the Black Hills, or Wyoming, there is definitely stuff that you want in your pack that's going to set you apart from the rest.
All right, yeah, diving right into our vests. One of the first things that you can see right up front on my vest is my Tetra hearing devices. Super excited about this year. This is a new product for Foster and I to be using. These are the multi-pursuit custom shields. These things are amazing. They're a lifesaver, I would say.
I haven't worn any hearing devices just because when you get in the turkey woods, you can't hear those hens and the gobbles that are far away. Our Merriam's turkeys are already super quiet, compared to Easterns. So to hear gobbles, even those ridges, right, where you would swear to God, one, that they're over on the north side and they're actually on the west side, or you think that they're 500, 600 yards away and they're 150 yards away. So I've never worn anything like this, but just the little bit that we've tested out already, they're incredible.
They're absolutely amazing. Not only will they help your ears when you shoot your shotgun to muffle that noise, but they'll also help you pick up that frequency of that turkey, either that hen or that gobbler drumming or spitting. And
it's directional too, right?
Oh,
so
absolutely.
if those birds come in on your left side or right side for what you're seeing for the camera, you can hear that. And it was crazy because last year we were hunting with Zach Phillips with Country Outdoors.
That's where we found out about Tetras, is from Zach and Mary from Country Outdoors, good friends of ours that come and hunt with us quite frequently. As Zach put it, they're like barn cats. If you keep feeding them, they'll just keep coming back. Well, we've done that, and he keeps coming back.
That's okay, though.
Mary, you're always welcome. Zach, well, okay.
If you work on your calling, Zach, you can hunt with me. But no, Tetra hearing, they're incredible.
Yeah, Tetra hearing. The people at Tetra are amazing to work with. Call them. They will walk you through the whole process.
So let's dive in a little bit into the packs themselves. You talked a little bit about Tetra. One thing I'm going to go into is the calls, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm running all Woodhaven. I've used Woodhaven for years, and I've just had very good luck with them. They have a variety of products, which is really cool because you have everything from the really raspy stuff to higher pitched. And I think that's a huge thing we'll want to talk about too,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
so many people when they come out here, you know, if you're used to hunting Easterns, you like that raspiness. Where our merriams, they're high pitched and they really respond well to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Very high pitched. The higher the pitch you can get, the more successful I believe that you'll be hunting merriams. And that's what I've learned over the last 18 or 20 years that I've been hunting them.
So we're always running a few calls, scratcher, pot calls, whatever you want to call them. I prefer crystal. Just for me, crystals seem to be one of the most realistic sounds. So that's what I've run with. I think you have a slate, right?
Yeah, I run mostly the slate calls, but I do have a couple glass calls as well.
One thing that we love, and I don't think it's talked about enough, is box calls.
Yeah.
Especially box calls out here for our merriams. Merriams love sound. There's a lot of options, again, that Woodhaven has, and I can't say enough good things about them, their customer service. So I run this guy with all my calls in, and I know, Corey, you have a couple of different methods too with all your mouth calls.
Yep, I do. I store them in the fridge before the season's getting ready to start. It's just a water solution with a little bit of a non-alcohol based mouthwash is all it is. Just a tiny little splash. Helps keep the latex there moist. I'm not burning through so many calls every couple of years or whatever.
They have different packs, right? So you can try a few different ones out, see what you like. Personally, I started using the yellow hammer. That one is flat out amazing for me. So you got to find the one that works for you. If you guys are looking for a good call for out here in the hills, definitely check out the Classic Cherry Crystal. That one is going to be hands down a call that I know you use it. I use it all the time. And it just, again, it flat out works for our birds.
Absolutely. Like Foster's saying, he uses the yellow hammer mouth call. That works for him. I use the Ghost Cut.
All right, so importantly, we went over hearing protection. We've gone through all the calls that we're using. What's next in our pack?
The next important thing for me in my my pack is my cell phone.
Oh yeah.
The app, of course, Onyx that we use religiously.
Yeah, I mean, they've blown up with popularity over the years. I remember hunting way back in the day, before we even met. And there's been so many turkeys in high school that I just didn't hunt because I wasn't sure if I could or not. And then I go back and talk to the landowner and they're like, well, that's actually Forest Service. And I had no idea. So Onyx has changed the game, especially for us up here in the hills.
It's very beneficial for us. I love using it as far as like roosting birds. I mean, you can literally pinpoint that ridge line or where they're at to get you in close, you know, as far as like knowing your yardage away from that bird as you're sneaking in the middle of in the morning.
Yep. And my favorite thing with it is knowing the boundary lines so you're not accidentally crossing over to someone's property. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is something that we both love.
Yeah.
That's guns and ammo. So we've been using the 410 a lot lately. Browning 725 Satori. Expensive turkey hunt without a doubt, but it has been incredible. The ability to run two different choke tubes, having a modified and a full, is huge for us. You know, you get that bird within 20 yards especially. If you ran a full, you'd be shooting a baseball at it. At least with the modified, you have a realistic pattern that's going to take that bird down. But I don't think we've really missed a turkey since we went and put aim points on our guns.
Yeah, I can say honestly that I believe my success rate has been 100% since I've had an aim point on my gun.
Yep.
I have yet to miss. Again, knock on wood. I hope that doesn't happen. But aim points, red dots,
they flat out work.
You cannot go wrong with them. I've yet to have this product even fail on me for any reason. I still am running the same battery.
Yeah. So most people don't know they actually run for 50,000 hours, which is about like 5 years if you just kept it on continually, which is crazy. I mean, I always replace my battery just because that's me. Do you get that set? And I have yet to have that thing move on us. And we've been through a lot of different country.
I don't shoot my 12 gauge anymore.
It's pretty sad to say because we used to be diehard 12 gauge fans. You know, the more lead that you could, or bismuth, tungsten that you can throw at them, the better.
Yep.
But it's really changed the game for us with the 410, 28 gauge.
Yeah, absolutely. The sub gauges are making a huge comeback.
A lot of that's because of the TSS. So this is what we're running. It's 410 Browning ammo. TSS has changed the game, and I think that's brought the reintroduction with the 28 gauges and the 410s being used, because people are using them for everything: turkey hunting, waterfowl hunting, upland hunting. It's becoming a fad for sure. One last product on my gun too.
Oh, yeah.
Can't forget about it, the shot cam. That has been an incredible product over the years. So it's really cool to be able to show your friends, your family, when you shoot a turkey, kind of how the whole hunt went down.
Absolutely.
Or if you miss, you can cause some damage for yourself if you want to show your buddies. But regardless, shot cam has been an incredible product and definitely worthy of mentioning.
Yeah, one of the other things that I think's really great about the shot cam is being able to play back your shot after you've harvested an animal
Or not.
or missed.
Yep. I think there's a lot of benefit to be able to see what you did wrong.
Absolutely. Yep.
No one likes to miss. God knows that we don't like to
No, I
miss
don't
at
like to
all.
miss.
But there, especially goose hunting, I mean, we've used it so much with figuring out our mistakes and correcting.
Yeah.
Some of those shots where, for years we would shoot and we had no idea what we're doing. Well, now with the shot cam, we've been able to go through and correct those mistakes. Not saying we're perfect by any means, but I mean, we definitely miss plenty. But at the same point, we definitely have brought up our success rate too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely had my fair share of misses in the goose field. Let me tell you.
So, all right, what do we got next in the pack?
Let's talk about the decoys here. Right here, I've got a fully flocked hen decoy by SX Decoys. This decoy was designed by your own Foster Barthlow and Scott Butts. Man, do these things work. And I'm not just bragging about them because they're designed by him, but we have been very, very successful with these decoys.
So one nice thing with all of these decoys is that they come either painted or fully flocked.
Yep. And this is the Jake decoy. It absolutely ticks off them birds. I highly recommend them if you guys are looking for new decoys or a decoy to try out.
I think there's a huge advantage, especially those eastern hunters, Osceola hunters, where you have a very dark bird anyways, and no one else makes a fully flocked decoy.
Yeah.
And that's the cool part, is when you get these in the light, they don't shine like you would see a lot of the painted decoys out there. Nothing against painted decoys, and they both hold their own value and their own weight.
Absolutely.
But some of those days, a fully flocked decoy will just flat out work.
100%.
What do you think of the posture of it?
Aggressive. That's what I think is so neat about it, is it really ticks them big mature birds off to come in and whoop his butt.
Yeah, and all the tails, you pull out the stake. By far, they have the best motion, where it sits in there and it will rotate. And there's
It
just
doesn't take much wind.
no.
Just a slight breeze and it'll move.
Yep.
These Mr. Fox vests, I mean, these things open up big and they'll fit a decoy in there and easy to tote around.
Yep. One other thing that we want to talk about is just some of the extra gear that a lot of people don't really think about. But you have so many pockets within this, right? So you have gloves, you have face masks, you have different places for different locator calls. And we probably want to dive in a little bit with what locators to use, because
Yeah,
a lot of the
absolutely.
guys that come up using owl hooters, crow calls.
And not to say that an owl hooter won't work up here. It'll occasionally work, but I would highly recommend a coyote howl or an elk bugle, one of the two.
What else do we got in here?
You know, I like to carry around, some extra pins, a pair of limb cutters.
I actually even have
A little saw.
mini saw that
I
can
need to get me
open
one
up.
of them for this year, because I think the saw's a little bit better.
I think both, if you can have both of them in your pack, that's going to be
Put 'em in
really
there.
nice.
Yep.
I do have insect repellent. Now, we don't have the ticks or mosquitoes like you would see down south, where some of those mosquitoes are about the size of a small bird. And
I've heard some Florida guys say that their state bird is the mosquito. I carry a couple pens and an extra knife. Here in South Dakota, we have to notch our tags with the time frame on them, so that's why I carry around a knife and a couple pens to sign your tag as well.
don't underestimate the value of teepee in the woods. When you gotta go, Sharman. If you don't want to be carrying around a whole roll of teepee with you, my dad showed me this. Just take off, 7, 8, 10, 15 pieces, whatever. you want to carry around, but put in a little zippy, goes in there if anything ever gets wet. Your TP isn't getting wet.
Another thing I keep in my vest is a rangefinder, a good rangefinder. Pretty easy to tell, you know, 20 yards or 30 yards, but it's good to actually sit down and actually know the exact yardage of that tree that that bird could possibly come by.
One of the most important things, I got one of these little Bibles. I saw these at NWTF a couple years ago, and everyone that we've hunted with was able to give one to. So like all the low cash guys, Mo Pitney.
Mo Pitney and his wife, Emily.
Yeah, Zach and Mary both got a couple.
Yeah.
But it's been really cool because, man, when you sit down and you're able to read the Bible after shooting turkey, it's one of those ways to connect.
Absolutely.
So one thing that we don't have here that I do want to talk about, the turkey chairs.
Yeah, absolutely. Those things are a lifesaver on your back for them long sits, especially even them roost sits in the morning, you know, waiting for the sun to come up.
Or those evening, afternoon hunts
Absolutely.
where you're waiting for a couple hours before the birds come out into the fields. You feel like you're almost just in a recliner.
Absolutely.
Truly. Nothing against the seats here that the Fox vests have, or other vests too. These ones are really thick, and I do love that about these vests.
A lot of cushion there.
But that's going to bring a whole discussion now into being mobile versus sitting. The things we want to talk about is the strategy also of hunting these birds. What works for you midday if you're trying to just locate a turkey?
For me, I'm going to say a box call.
Yeah.
I mean, I primarily resort to the box call during the daytime. I don't like to coyote call during the daytime.
Yep.
I think it just ends up spooking the bird. You can shot gobble them for sure by doing that.
Yep.
You can do it.
It's worked, but for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, I think it makes them very timid to the calling then, if you're going to sit down and call after you get on them. And I find just running a box call as I'm walking around, and you strike one up and you hear him gobble, and then you can go get above him or whatever, however you plan to do it.
When you do that, we're just going to say scenario here for all those viewers out there that are getting ready for a Midwest hunt and are wanting to find a little bit of information.
Yeah.
What works well? So you've located a bird, right? He's 300-400 yards away, on a different ridge, maybe even.
Yep.
But are you going to get down to the bottom of the ridge and try to start walking and calling to him, or do you try to stay up on top of the ridges?
Well, first off, what I do is I grab my phone and I look on Onyx.
True.
Because I want to make sure that he's on public land, or if I have permission on that private. I want to know exactly maybe where he's at, or where I kind of think he's at.
Get a good lay of the land before you go trotting in there.
And then the second thing is I like to get up above. I like to get high. I don't like being down in the bottoms. I just like to be above them birds. I've had more success being above them during the daytime, or period, hunting them, I should say. And I feel like it's just kind of like elk hunting. Them bulls hate when a cow's up on top of a hill or you're above them and you're bugling down at them. Well, the same thing goes for turkeys, I feel. I call down to them and they immediately come running up to me. That's kind of the way I go about hunting around here. I'm not saying my way is the right way every time, but
well, it may not be the only way, but it's the best way.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
You know, when you start looking at coyote howlers, right, we tell people that they're in our packs.
I've used it early in the morning, walking in to an area where I maybe didn't get to mark a bird on Onyx, and I can coyote howl early in the morning, which they don't care. It's a natural thing. Coyotes are always howling early in the morning.
Are you talking like early morning, like a couple hours before sunrise?
Yeah,
or?
I mean, it could be pitch blackout, or it could be 15-20 minutes before shooting light, and I've coyote howled just to locate that bird to try to get in on him, and it doesn't seem to booger them up at all. They're very receptive to it. And then also in the evening time
for locating
them in the roost, I use it all the time.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I use a elk bugle, but not very often.
More on the coyote
howl because it's a natural animal in that area that is doing that all the time, and the turkeys are always hearing them.
For me personally, I've tried the crow calls, I've tried owl hooters.
Yep.
I just haven't had that much luck with them.
Yeah, I haven't either. We actually did a hunt several years ago with a fella that came to town, and we were pulling over checking some areas, and he was using the owl hooter, and I jumped out and fired off one time immediately after he did the owl hoot. Didn't hear a bird. I fired off with the coyote howl and the birds answered. So
there they were.
There they were. There's another compartment in here in the back. It's a dry bag basically to keep stuff dry in. Keep your raincoat in if you carry one.
Rarely do I go into the field without a decoy in the Black Hills.
Yeah. Yep. I am the same way.
And I think that's even said too on the prairie for the South Dakota hunts, just because our birds are so visual, right? We have, even though we have a lot of trees and the Black Hills is so vast, when you get to the underbrush in our hills, it's very open.
Absolutely.
There's not a lot with, you know, compared to even down south.
Yeah.
And you can't walk through that stuff without finding poison ivy or something.
Right.
But I think that plays a huge part in it, because a lot of guys coming from those southern states will get up here. The hunting public, I mean, I know those guys came up to the Black Hills and they hunted one of their episodes where they kind of struggled, honestly, and they were trying to crawl up on the birds, and it just flat out didn't work because our stuff is so much more open. I think they ended up killing a couple birds, but I know that they struggled a lot more than they should have for being the turkey hunters that they are.
Yeah.
So our recommendations, especially out here, if you can, use decoys.
Yeah, absolutely. Use a decoy. I highly recommend it. It will help. Like again, Foster said that our birds are very visual and vocal, and they see a decoy, whether it's a fully flocked decoy or a full strut stuffer decoy, it'll help you be more successful for sure.
One thing that I do want to say, kind of to wrap this up, we've gone through all of the products that we use and why we use this stuff. And I think one thing that we really want to bring up is this stuff is going to be for your merriams hunting. I do not recommend all this stuff for the Easterns. I mean, some Rios, there's definitely a lot of crossover with Rios, but this is a primarily merriam setup.
Yeah, for sure. I would piggyback on what Foster's saying, is this is an upper Midwest hunt. For Nebraska, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota. If you're coming out to hunt in the Midwest and you're coming out to hunt merriams, all the tools and tips and tactics that we've talked about here today is for that.
Again, guys, if you have any questions at all, please go down below, comment, let us know. We'll be glad to help out. That's what we do. Last thing I want to talk about is turkey population, turkey numbers. South Dakota, primarily the Black Hills, have really struggled the last 10 years. And you've seen this decline. We're not going to get into all the factors of what causes that, because that would be a whole nother issue for another hour for me. But I think the one thing that we do want to say is there are birds, but it has become a lot trickier and a lot tougher to hunt and kill a turkey in the Black Hills of South Dakota.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more.
So go in the comments below. Let us know if there's anything, one, that we can improve on, if there's different stuff that you guys might use that's beneficial that we would love to hear about too, or if you're coming out to the hills or surrounding areas and you just want to talk turkey, or you want to tell us a success story that you've had in the past. All right, so guys, be safe, have fun in the outdoors, and good luck hunting this spring.
And in the famous words of Country Outdoors Zach Phillips, a turkey's just a turkey. Your turkey ain't no different than my turkey.
We'll see you guys.
Yeah.